right about now, let me ask my music posse to put a pause on. They're rocking it out. Here we go. All right. Thank you, music posse. Friends, social connections, welcome to this Thursday live stream episode of Buying That House. Hard to believe we're wrapping up the month of August. For some of my friends and social connections here in the local Chicago metro market, I don't know about you, but I'm going to lean in and say this. We've had a great summer, despite some of those crazy storm events that probably disrupted many of our lives. I know for a fact that it was disruptive to me and my family the week of July 4th. Why? Because we lost power overnight. But hey, we got over that. One of the things, by the way, one of the things that can be a little alarming is when you lose power. In the tech world that we live in the technology world that drives all of us, here's what I'm about to tell you. When you forget to charge your cell phone, OMG, it's terrible. So the next morning, I had to get up early, go somewhere, charge my phone so that I could at least feel a little bit normal. So with all of that said, audience members, welcome. If you've liked some of my past live stream episodes, I want to welcome you back today. If this is your first time coming into one of my live streams, I appreciate it if you can like and perhaps subscribe to my YouTube channel. So with all of that said, my guest today is someone who is not here in the Chicago market, but she is absolutely someone that I met in Chicago. I think about 3-4 years ago. It was at a real estate convention conference that took place here in Chicago. We kind of hit it off. I've stayed in touch with her, and from afar, I've been able to watch her and her business grow, transform. And so with all of that said, audience members, I have the pleasure today of sharing with you who she is, what she's all about. She's going to tell you. And she's coming to us from what I call the tech capital of the East, and that is Boston. So with that said, let's get her fans to give her a nice warm welcome. Here's the first set of our fans, right? Her fan base. Yes, Bonnie, they're giving you like Bonnie. And then here's her other set of fans, people who are a little bit more professional, obviously sitting in the conference room. So with that said, music posse, let's give Bonnie a little prompt here. Here we go. All right, Bonnie.
Hi, Will.
This is excellent. You today?
I feel so welcomed.
How you like all of the, walk-on music, prompting, your fan base clapping you?
Oh, I have to say you have really stepped up your game since the last time I'm on the show.
I try to do my best, but one thing for sure, as I talked about during my lead-in, technology drives almost everything that we do. So this live stream platform that I've used, they keep adding more value to the platform. Yours truly, because I'm a little bit of a tech geek, besides the other stuff that I do, I've adapted and I've learned as well.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how many AI subscription you have right now. Do I even want to know? Does your wife know?
My wife knows because she probably looks at the credit card bill and there's like, what's all of these recurring charges?
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, AI, honestly, from 2 years ago, it was so elementary comparing to what it does now.
True,
It blows my mind.
true. Very true. So, Bonnie, for your fans who know you, because I know you're probably humble enough, but for your local fans, maybe watching this live stream episode live, if they're playing hooky from work, or
Mhm.
getting this as an on-demand recording, they know this because I know this about you. You have been rocking it out with the business or real estate right there in the greater Boston metro area, right?
Well, we all trying to survive as we all do our best, but I'm still here, so that's good.
Yes, you are still there. And one thing I know is from when I first met you, fast forward to now, you've been able to grow a team, and that becomes important. Why? Because as your fan base, your clients grow, you and I only have the same 24/7 clock. You need to adapt, transform, and grow to serve all of those clients, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and honestly, my business kind of grow as like, the way I want to service my client. I know that, if I want to do more, my service, the only thing that matters to me is the service maintained at a
Yep.
same quality, if not better. So I'm
Yeah.
very proud to say that as a very productive solo agent for many years, growing into a team naturally is for my clients. It's because I'm doing it for them to make sure that the experience will only enhance from there. So now I have a very proud team of four. My husband is one of them, and we don't kill each other over it. We
You
actually
don't
work
kill
really
each
well
other.
together. Yeah, honestly, he's the best hire or best person I can, you know, be working with, and I'm very fortunate that he finally said yes a few years ago to step into real estate with me. And
I remember
I would
that.
never want to do it by myself again because he's just so great.
I remember that conversation we had several years ago when you were kind enough to share your time with me,
Mhm.
pop into one of my live streams several years ago. And I think I did ask that question. Hey, what's it like working with your husband, Charlie? Oh, by the way, Charlie, if you're watching this, she's saying all good stuff about you, apparently.
Yes. Oh, he knows. I make sure he knows every day. He is actually at a showing right now because I'm here.
Got you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. That's how
Yeah.
you got to do it. Yeah.
And I think,
So,
also because now we're growing a team, it naturally now becomes, we actually made a switch earlier this year so we can grow even with more intention and the
nice.
way I want to grow it and sustain it.
Yeah.
So now we rebranded. So Lux Home Team is now under a brand that I founded alongside with Side Real Estate.
Hmm.
So basically, I'm very lucky that they do all the back end stuff and give us a really good tag to support
Yeah.
our brand.
Yeah.
So in Boston, we only have three teams that is partnered with Side Real Estate. So I'm very
Okay.
fortunate to be one of the three teams.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
Now, here's what I think I know and remember the many times that I visited Boston. By the way, Bonnie, reminder for you, I have some cousins that live in Boston. I don't think, not in the city, but they're,
Mhm.
outside of the city. Malden, uh,
Mhm.
I remember, right? And what I know about Boston is this, and correct me if I'm completely off base. Boston is one of the large cities in the US where there is a much larger proportion of young people. Am I right?
Yes, for sure. A lot of people
Okay.
stay after college because that's where the jobs are.
Right.
And earlier off stage, we were talking about how Boston is a hub for like medical jobs, high tech,
Yeah.
biotech, high education, finance. So we do have a lot of good jobs here in Boston.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's be real, audience members, some of you who know me, some of you who know me very well, you've heard me say this. Great job, great income, more real estate. No job, no income, no loan, maybe no real estate.
Mhm.
So with
Yep.
that said, Bonnie, let me bring up some visual aids to help us, okay? Here we go. One of the things you and I both know is, according to NAR, right, the National Association of Realtors, the median age of a first-time home buyer right now, currently, is pushing to the age of 40. Is that different in Boston Metro?
I would say it could be a little younger than 40. I would say by
Okay,
40, you're already upsizing to a second home like in
got
Boston.
it.
And
Yep,
again, because the median income in Boston is higher than a lot of like metro area.
right.
So I would say most of my clients, they start looking between 28 to 32. That will be
Wow.
probably a condo because, everything is expensive here.
Right.
Of course, you always get buyers that say, oh, I want to move only once. Well, that's really hard in Boston. If you want to buy your dream house with your first budget, unless you do really well for yourself, then in that case, congratulations. But most of the time, people start with either they out in the suburbs so they can afford a single family, or if they want some sort of city life, then they're going to end up with a condo. And what happened is they fall in love, they find a partner, they might decide to have kids.
True.
That's usually when they might rent out their condo or sell it to upsize to their dream home, hopefully. But even
Yeah,
then, it might not be a dream home because houses are
yeah,
quite expensive here.
yeah. I see that. So according to this visual aid here, in the upper right-hand corner, I mean, OMG,
Yeah,
single family sale prices, I'm assuming these are median numbers,
right.
$800,000, townhomes 735, condos, these are some nice condos,
Yes,
certainly crossed over the $500,000 mark. And
right.
so amazing. Now,
Yeah.
let me shift to the lower right-hand corner. Am I correct to see it this way? And this is snapshotting what's happened from July, so just a month ago. There are more new homes listed, so that's coming up. So you do see inventory opening up, right?
Yeah, so I think, the condos market versus the single family market is never really quite the same to me. I
True.
think the condo market in Boston has definitely have gotten a lot more inventories over time.
Yeah,
And I think, I'm pretty sure that's the same like anywhere. I think it's
yeah,
because, like with the collapse of a Florida building a few years back,
yeah,
now the master insurance, I think actually master insurance or insurance in general is just been rising so much that now the condo market especially is feeling a lot of pressure because the master insurance will flat out tell them if you don't do repairs for your home, we're going to pull the master insurance and would not insure you anymore. So now
yeah,
you're seeing a whole wave of like condos needing to do a lot more special assessment, which put pressure on, the condo fee as well. Especially now, I'm pretty sure you're also aware that, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae has also increased the reserve requirement for next year to
they
start in
have.
2027 for
Yeah,
15% reserve requirement versus 10%. So now we're waiting for all these condo fee to go up because they must go up. The money
yeah,
comes from somewhere
that's
because
right.
now they have to budget a lot more to put aside. That's a 50% increase, right?
Right.
But I mean, in the long run, I do think it's a good idea because there are buildings nowadays that have millions and millions dollars of special assessment coming up. If you live in a high rise, that number is always going to be big. So I
True.
think, the condo market is definitely going to be having some sort of big adjustment coming up. And the single family market is still pretty stable.
Hmm.
However, we talked about the tornado market earlier off stage.
Yeah.
Every house, every neighborhood is selling differently. It's really based on the strategy of the seller and the seller agent to decide how to price the property right.
Okay.
Or sometimes, the strategy, they price it a little lower than the market price, and then it
Yes.
just watch it takes off. It's a strategy that could be a little risky because you never know. Because
True.
people might just come and keep asking these days, but I mean, I think right now is the time where hiring the right agent and a good one is so important. It's because during the COVID time, everyone is having the best year. But nowadays, even if you're really good, there are a lot of things that you don't get to control. And if you're working with someone that are not very vigilant and good, you're gonna lose a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think you've nailed it right on the head. Someone that's got to be good, someone that's vigilant. But at the end of the day, you know what? In the business that we're in, because we serve our clients, what we bring to serve them for you is certainly experience, education, and then the third component. This is the EQ part. It's how we care for
Right.
our clients, right?
Yeah. And it's not an easy time right now to do transactions like on either side. There's a lot
Right,
of anxiety, right? Like COVID, like it's weird because I've been in the business for over 12 years at this point. That's one like, complete zodiac, cycle. And honestly, like every cycle is a little different. I mean, this is the first balanced market that I've seen that is not a complete seller market. Like
right.
in 2014, that's when I came into the business. It was nothing but up, right? During
Yeah,
COVID, it was on steroid, which also weird because you would
right,
think at the end of the world, people will be a little more like foggy about what they're doing, but they just buy because of the interest rate being so low. And then a year and a half later, the interest rate was at 8%. Good that it didn't stay up there for too long because now we're balanced back between the high six and low seven.
low sevens, right,
And I
right,
don't think people are really scared about the interest rate, but I think the anxiety nowadays, I think with all my buyers or sellers are like they only doing real estate deals because they have to. You're not
sure,
really overwhelming seeing a lot of investors, even in the metropolitan Boston area, which
yeah,
is rare because Boston has always been a heavy investor hub. But
sure,
nowadays, I think the interest rate and also the rental is kind of like a little flat. Like I mean, the the rent is not going higher, and the
okay,
interest rate is too high because they're
too
so
high.
spoiled with the 2%, and we are losing a lot of international buyers as well. So we're definitely not seeing cash buyers the way we used to see in like 2020 or before that. Because I think
Sure,
in Boston, we're very spoiled with all these cash buyers for a very long time. And now
yeah,
most of the condos that we sell, they definitely for owner occupied,
yeah. Do
which is an
you
interesting
see,
thing.
do you see, Bonnie, what I call this segment of sellers who are either let's point out who they are. Sellers who are either downsizing, right sizing from their large home to something different, maybe even moving out of Boston. Do you see some of that momentum?
Oh, for sure. I think, but
Okay,
that's any market. And
that's true.
when I said people only doing real estate deal because they have to, this is one of the situations.
Right.
I'm now helping my friend's parents downsize because one of them played pickleball and injured her back, so she couldn't do like townhouse anymore. So we have to change her to a condo. So therefore we have to sell the townhouse she loves so much.
Got it.
But people are still getting married, they're still having kids.
They still
But I
are.
think, yes, like people got to do things. And if you get a job, you have to relocate. I do have to say those are the people who are mainly in the real estate market. You're not, again, the investors are a lot of the time they are trying to cash out at this point, because you don't know how the economy is going to look in 2 years. It could get better, it could get worse. But in Boston earlier this year, we were trying to defeat this rent control attempt,
Yeah.
and it made it on the ballot, and eventually
Oh,
the Supreme Court kind of strike it down because there was a certain component in it that wasn't really like passing.
okay.
So now that is off the ballot, but it doesn't mean that it won't come back. So I think
That's true.
everything is kind of changing very quickly, nationally and locally for us.
Okay, I get that. Um, Thank you for sharing all of that information, your feedback, and what I call a realistic pulse of what
Hmm.
is happening with real estate in the greater Boston metro area. So, audience members, um, at this point in our live stream, I did prompt Bonnie to this, so it's not like I'm springing it on her. and audience members. So those of you who have watched my other live stream episodes, you know this. I have this stupid little game that I love playing with my guests. And that game is, let's bring it up. Let's warm us up. That game is Would You Rather? So Bonnie, I told you I would ask you to play this game with me. So it's an easy game, and I know you will hit it out of the park. So the first round of Would You Rather is on your buyer side of real estate business. You ready?
Yep, I'm excited.
All right.
You're going to
Let's
get me
do
in
it.
trouble, aren't you?
I won't get you in trouble. And certainly I won't get you in trouble with Charlie. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. First question. Would you rather represent a buyer in a multiple offer bidding war or a seller who receives 10 offers in the first weekend?
Well, seller.
Yeah. Why not, right? There we go.
Yeah.
Then you look like a hero to your seller. You get to cherry pick the right offer. Right on.
Yep,
See, that's an easy one to get you warmed up. All right, here's the next one. This one is hard because when I read it to myself a few times, I'm like, oh, Bill, I don't know. This is a hard one.
All right.
Bonnie, would you rather have interest rates drop 1% tomorrow or home prices drop 10% tomorrow?
I'll say home. Well, if I'm the buyer, I want the price to drop. As a real estate agent, interest rate.
Yes, but here's the problem. You and I both know this. If interest rates were to drop 0.5% tomorrow or the full 1%, you know this. In the crazy business that we have, all of this pent-up demand from buyers, they're going to bust out of the gate. Our phones will be lighting up 24/7.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, I don't think they watch the interest rate as frequently as we do. We know, but I don't think they know. Like, but I mean, we will have to go and advertise it so they know, hey, this week it changes so frequently, day by day.
Day by day. You're right.
By the time they're ready, it change again. So you never know, unless you're buying today, right?
Yeah, but you're right. I like how you answered this one. You said, well, if I'm a buyer, I want prices to drop. But as a real estate broker for your business, yes, of course, you want the cost of borrowing money to be less because that drives more affordability. I get that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's now shift our Would You Rather game to sellers. Here we go. Would you rather represent a seller whose property, home, is overpriced by 10%? You know those sellers, Bonnie. Or a seller whose home is priced right, but refuses to negotiate?
Second. All day long, the second one, yes. Because I can convince them at the end. I know I can.
Wow, I like that.
But when you have someone who is so unrealistic about the price in the beginning, you needed to wait for the market to educate them. And by the time, I can't help them because it's already too late, you know?
Yeah. And here's what I think I know about you. Because when you said I choose the second one, the seller whose home is priced right but refuses to negotiate, I think I know this about you. Guess what, Bonnie? Our business is based on building a trusted relationship with our clients. So when that relationship is built on trust, even though a seller might initially be refusing to negotiate, you can help them see the forest versus the trees.
Well, but honestly, I might be negotiating with the buy agent instead to, protect my seller's unwillingness to negotiate. Because if the price is right, the price is right, and the buyers in the market, if the buy agent is smart, they also understand that. And buyers, nowadays they are willing if it is for the perfect house.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, last question. As part of our Would You Rather, Would you rather tell a client something they don't want to hear and risk losing them?
That would be number one already. I'm going with that one.
You know what? I had a feeling you would choose that one. Let me tell you what the other choice was. Or tell them what they want to hear and risk losing the transaction later.
Yeah, that's not me. I will always tell the truth regardless of how, I mean, luckily people do appreciate my honesty. It's because they know that I'm not doing it to trying to like make a sale, because I don't need to convince you to go through with a sale if it's the right pick for you.
Yeah.
But it's important for me to tell you what you don't want to hear at the right time. I would choose that every day.
I know. Same for my side of the business.
Yeah.
It's so much better for me to tell a John and Jane Doe, today, the amount of the loan that you want, we can't get you there. Here are the reasons why, versus dropping too casually a pre-approval. They start the process, they find the right property, write an offer on it, and guess what? You and I both know this. They're starting to spend money, and then the rug gets pulled from under them. That's terrible, right?
It's horrible. It happens so much now, especially, again, the condo market is killing us.
I know.
Yeah.
I hear you.
We need the underwriters to step up the game because they're killing us.
There we go.
We got one deal, like literally one day from clear to close, and like everything was good until it wasn't, and then the loan was denied. Like it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, you guys need to hire more underwriters. Not you guys, but I think in the whole industry in general. Yeah.
I'm going to replay this segment of our live stream to my underwriting team. How you like that one? Okay.
Please review your file.
Members, as Bonnie and I wrap up this live stream, Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing your time with me, your audience, my audience, our collective audience together. By the way, audience members here in the local Chicago metro market, you heard this from Bonnie already. When and if you may be relocating for the reasons of life, you have family in Boston, you got a new job that's adding 2 more zeros or more to your income, or heck, you just want to be in that young tech capital of the East, Bonnie Lai is your girl. She and her team can certainly deliver the outcome that you need and want. Audience members, thank you for showing up in today's live stream. And for all of you, if you do need to get in touch with Bonnie and you're just too damn lazy to Google search, here's the solution. Simply scan this QR code. Yours truly, your host, will get you in touch through an intimate 3-way text chat with Bonnie so that she can take over and move you to the life that you want. Music Posse, let's play us out. Here we go.